Whether it's a full arrest or an indictment or arraignment or whatever circus the DA of Manhattan is trying to perpetrate on the American people and on President Trump, either way, there's political fallout, and how other politicians and how we the people respond. Well, that's what it's really all about. Joining us now to analyze all that stuff from his remote patriot vehicle somewhere in the great American frontier is Rogan O'Hanley, also known as DC Drano on Instagram, where you're back now at full strength. You're not canceled. You're not deleted. My God, how is our republic safe right now, Rogan?
Well, I asked that. I was like, everybody was worried when Elon brought back all these scary conservatives that the world was going to fall apart. There'd be multiple January 6s. And all that's really happened is Americans have free speech to call out the corruption in this government. So I'm
Well,
very happy to be back.
I think that actually is the answer to what everyone was worried about. All that free speech. That's a problem. All right. So, a lot of things that we can discuss here. First of all the analysts that I talk to, and frankly, most of the analysts, even on the left, concede that if, in fact, the Manhattan District Attorney ends up pursuing this course with Donald Trump for criminal charges, it actually ends up helping President Trump. Do you agree with that?
100%, because the American people aren't stupid. They know when our justice system is being weaponized against political enemies. This is the stuff you read about in third world dictatorships, which not much difference from what we're experiencing these days, especially in light of the fact that Hillary Clinton used a private email server that destroyed the evidence, laundered speaking fee dollars as Secretary of State, funded the Steele dossier with campaign funds, lied about that, was organizing a spying campaign on the sitting president of the United States. And yet Trump is the person getting indicted in all this. It's an
Yeah.
absolute atrocity. And yeah, so it is going to make people rally in support of Trump. You've got a lot of DeSantis supporters who are now kind of, criticizing him for the first time because they're saying, hey, politics aside, we have to stop the weaponization of our justice system by Soros DAs against Republican leaders, or this is going to get out of control. We're going to lose our country.
Yeah, I'm Republican Switzerland over here. I want the best Republican to emerge from this primary and beat the Democrats. That's my main concern here. But yesterday, I criticized Governor DeSantis. I thought this was an unforced error on his part by calling this, manufactured and saying that he's got real issues to deal with. Does he not understand what's been going on for the last several years? That leftist politicians are using our judicial system and our laws as political weapons against us. They want us in jail for our politics. That's clear.
Yeah, and I went back to when Mar-a-Lago was raided by the FBI, and I was pretty sure Governor DeSantis had a very strong response there, and he did. He called it a banana republic tactic. He called it a weaponization for political purposes of our justice system. And so, as a Florida resident, of someone who's Governor DeSantis, a lot of looked at his response and said, that's not Governor DeSantis. That's
Yeah.
Paul Ryan. That's Karl
Hmm.
Rove. That's the establishment donor class. And so I think we know Governor DeSantis is a better guy than this, but unfortunately, he's getting bought out by these establishment donors and he's succumbing to it.
Well, either that, or maybe this is a politician who's outthinking his own political strategy here. He's trying to, because he did in his statement, he did criticize the DA. He called him Soros back. He said that he was using the law as a weapon and he was ignoring the crime in his own streets. But he tried to triangulate Rogan. I think he tried to say, that said, you're not going to have to worry about this stuff with me. That's where he miscalculated. I don't know if he's bought and paid for by the establishment. I think he's just trying to find a lane here where he can have it both ways.
No, that's exactly right. If he left out that last paragraph, his statement was pretty good overall. He is the only governor to fire a Soros-backed DA, which is actually in my county, so I'm extremely appreciative of that. And again, he's generally on top of things, but he waited 3 days, and I'm not saying he's bought out by the establishment across the board here. I think in this one particular instance, he got bad advice. He listened to it, and
Yeah.
it wasn't MAGA America First people, because just a week or two ago, he was saying we got to stop funding Ukraine, which certainly upset the establishment. So this was just out of character for him. But again, he's not the focal point for us. Our focal point is Alvin Bragg and these Soros DAs who are like we said, weaponizing the system and not treating other political leaders with fair sense of justice. Where's Tara Reid in all this? Joe Biden, there's so
Right.
much proof that he sexually assaulted her, and she's just brushed under the rug. But Stormy Daniels is suddenly the talk of the town. It's just a circus.
Oh, yeah. Not to mention the fact that Congress literally has a legal slush fund to pay hush money to congressional staffers who have complaints against members of the House of Representatives. This sort of thing happens on Capitol Hill, but you don't hear about it because they use our tax dollars to make it go away. You're right. I think the American people can see through this. They see it so happen. Anybody who comes out, if this indictment comes down and we actually end up seeing the perp walk and the fingerprinting, anybody who comes out and says, that's it, I'm done with Trump, they were already going to vote the other way. This isn't changing anybody's mind, Rogan. But we are going to see that. You know how social media works. We're going to see this whole legion of Lincoln Project paid Twitter accounts and Instagram accounts saying, I was MAGA all the way, but not anymore because of this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get a picture of his mugshot, put it on a T-shirt, and say Trump 2024. I want the guy they fear the most. And so this is gonna completely backfire against them. But the good news is, the one upside to this is this shows how scared and desperate they are. If it weren't for the mail-in ballots in 2020, I think we'd have a much different situation right now in the White House. So that's the one silver lining in all this is they are petrified. They did everything. They deleted this guy off every social media. They've there so many lawsuits, investigations. Nobody has been attacked more, twice impeached, and they still can't stop him. This movement is not going away. It's only strengthening. And I think President Trump is going to win in 2024, especially after what they're doing to him now.
Rogan, let's get back to DeSantis here. It's impossible to have a conversation about Trump now without mentioning DeSantis. I'm sure you saw the interview with Piers Morgan yesterday, or at least what has come out about it. And he made another interesting he's trying to find his path here, right? And he made an interesting statement where he talked about how he doesn't like all the drama. He tries to run his administration with people who are focusing on the citizens of Florida and getting their work done. He doesn't want to get involved in Twitter fights because ultimately that takes the focus off of his job, which is to serve the people of Florida. He didn't specifically say Trump's bad because he doesn't do that, but he is making that implication. He's trying to say, listen, I can do a lot of this stuff effectively as your governor, and I'm not going to give you the drama that inevitably comes with the Trump show. Is that an effective strategy, or is that pushing it too far in fighting against Trump?
No, I think that's a focus group message that these high-paid consultants for the establishment said they're playing to that 10% of Republicans that think Trump is too brash and too off color, and those same 10% are probably some of the biggest donors to the Republican Party, but that's just not where the base is. If he DeSantis loves getting involved in the culture war, in the quote unquote drama of the day. That's why he has so much support. It's we want people to get into this culture war because ignoring it is how it's gotten so bad. That's how much ground they've taken, is because we say, well, if you leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. No, no, no. We have to go on offense now. So if
Yeah.
Governor, again, I think he's just getting bad advice. He's trying to solidify the base of Republicans that isn't fully sold on Trump. But in that process, he's going to alienate 40, 50, 60% who want a tough street fighter to fight against this Marxist machine.
Real fast, I know that you're passionate about the people who were arrested after January 6th, and they deserve to, see real justice and not the kangaroo courts that have been set up. Are you concerned that President Trump's asked for people to protest? They're going to protest in D.C. and Manhattan. They're going to be treated the exact same way by these ultra blue leftist DAs and the judges and the courts in D.C. again. Is it a good idea to get out there and protest on behalf of Trump right now, given the climate and given what's already, we still got people rotting in jail?
I think it absolutely is a good idea. We should not be afraid to protest against a corrupt government. It is our constitutional right.
Rogan O'Hadley, he's back. He's DC Drano, and it's good to have him. Thanks for joining us. More to come on O'Connor tonight.